Alfred Naro.
Speaker, the wonders and the beauty of Select Committee is that you get the checks and balances of the different views, and I want to acknowledge the view of Mr Little over there. I didn't quite hear about the story about the blind bat and hen, though I did hear the comment about the little tugboat that did say, I know I can. I think he might have been recanting his own story and journey around defamation. But, Mr Speaker, we're talking about the officer of the Privacy Commissioner. And what's important, Mr Speaker, is that we know that the fact is that information is important. The Privacy Commissioner talks about personal data becoming a critical area for business and for government. Mr Speaker, what was really quite clear that came out of the Privacy Commissioner, and I think what was the concern was that we know that there was an interest in the Privacy Commissioner from the opposition to possibly hear some meaty stories in which they could go out and make a press release about all the things that was doing wrong. But Mr Speaker, what was quite clear is that when the Commissioner said this, in fact, what she actually started off with was this. Her comments is that what we have is an equivalent to an ecosystem that's mutating and multiplying constantly before us. In other words, the whole aspect of information technology and the challenges that it faces to us, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, what she also said, which I want to put in context, is that she said this, is that data breaching and of confidentiality of information is nothing new. As the Honourable Leanne Dalziel said, it is nothing new. In other words, it's been happening for a long time. What is new and is correct in what she said is the intense scrutiny of both the media and of the public as well. Mr Speaker, we're really clear about the fact is that we believe it's important, like the Privacy Commissioner, to ensure the rights of and the responsibility of protecting information. But at the same time too, that data sharing is important to ensuring the opportunities for services and needs that are there as well. Mr Speaker, the other question is about this, is about the aspect of over 8 years there's been a static in funding. In fact, what she actually said is that over consecutive governments, it's not one government to blame in one sense. So over 8 years, there's been no increase in funding. But what there has been increase is 42% in applications. In fact, 8,465 inquiries around for members for public and organisations seeking advice on privacy matters, 1,142 complaints, and it is an increase of 42%. But here's the statistic that they don't quote, in which he said this, and it's in the annual report, 95% of complaints have been closed within the period of 9 months, 95%. So how we judge an organisation in its efficiency and its effectiveness, do they meet their outcomes? 95%, Mr Little, is what they declared to us. So they do meet their outcomes. They are meeting the needs that they see. Look, when you ask an organisation, do they need more money, would they like more? Of course they're going to say yes. But what she said, and I want to quote this, but the fiscal constraints have been positive. Now, this is what they don't say. This is her words. But the fiscal constraints have been positive as it's allowed us to focus on our core business. On our core business. And not only it's on our core business, but we're doing the business. 95% is our completion rate that's come out through this as well. Mr Speaker, it's quite clear that the Commissioner also commented about the information technology. It is a revolution, as she talked about. It's an eco-global system that's both multiplying and mutating with incredible speed. And so what we do need to do is to take into account and cognizant of the needs that we face in this. But here's what she also talked about, again, that you won't hear from opposition. She said this is about shared responsibility and accountability. While the opposition was looking for someone to blame, was looking for someone to hold an account, she said this is about shared responsibility and shared accountability. She wants to change a culture, and you're absolutely right, Mr Little. She wants to change a culture in New Zealand that when we do find information that does not belong to us, we return it to its rightful owner. That there's a sense of integrity about this. So you won't talk about that, but it's about shared responsibility and shared accountability. Mr Speaker, what we heard from the Privacy Commissioner was actually a balanced view. It wasn't about the sense of concern. The horses weren't getting frightened outside. There wasn't an issue there. But however, in that concern, we also share that concern because the vulnerability of information of people is highly important to us. So what we're doing, working with the Commissioner, is that she's ensuring that she's focusing on her core responsibilities, that she's meeting her KPIs of 95% completion rates, and that you were working with us on the information sharing bill, on the other legislation that we're putting through. Mr. Speaker, we had confidence with the Privacy Commission, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity.
No further speakers, so the question is that the report of the Justice and Electoral Committee on the 2011-12 Financial Review of the Privacy Commissioner be noted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Members, I believe that the next review the House wishes to debate is the Commerce Committee's financial review.